traversed the tombs of Naxxramas. We've climbed every cliff on Black Rock. Now the world cries out for heroes. As a new evil rises, there will be danger. There will be doom. There will be ancient temples filled with relics, treasures, and traps. Who will answer the call?
Explorers lead, and we are in need of explorers. Adventure we seek, cross land and sea. Won't you come and join us? Yes!
Welcome back, everyone, to the SL Eiley Star Series. I'm Noxious, and with me, Nimsh. It's been a pretty good day so far. We've got 2 more matches to go before we're done with the finals portion for Group B.
Yeah, and StanCifka will be playing in both of them.
Yep.
Because he just played the first match, warmed up, and I believe... I thought he is entering right now because everybody
the crowd
reacts.
just cheers, man. That's what they do here. They just cheer for no reason.
We have a message for StanCifka. Hopefully he is not listening. Because we just lost with his deck.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, Stan. We were playing your account, your priest deck. We tried to entomb 2 Murlocs to put them in our priest deck, so anything can happen. It wouldn't kill you,
unfortunately.
But you still die because that deck just does, Murloc stuff. You need 3 entombs next time.
Yeah, 3 entombs might work versus that deck, but this is not even a deck StanCifka is playing in the tournament.
No, not at all. It's just a deck we built and probably trolled him a little bit with. Although he does play a priest, we don't know what it is yet. It could be exactly that list.
That's right. That's right. And his opponent for this round is Job, I believe.
I think it's Job. I think he's got to play against Surrender still, but Jab seems to be the player that he's going to be facing off against. So we'll watch an interview with Jab, and yeah, enjoy this.
I didn't actually practice too much for this tournament necessarily. Like, I didn't find out about it until like a couple of days before I was actually going to play in the qualifier. Generally, I just like go through some spreadsheet analysis with my team, like get an idea of what everyone else is going to be playing and an idea of like what my team thinks the strongest decks are right now, or what has been performing well for them. So I get quite a bit of help, and then I base all of my decisions on a combination of those things. My deck choice is basically what I'm comfortable with. I don't try and tech too much against like a certain meta. I'm generally known for playing mid-rangey decks and stuff like Hunter, Druid, Secret Paladin. I just play like what I know is going to perform very well for me personally. And that way I'm less likely to make mistakes. Like, I thought about times where I might bring like a triple control lineup to counter the aggressive decks, but it's not really my style of play, so I just lean towards what I know best. Generally, I expect more aggressive decks from Chinese players. They like bringing stuff like Zoo and Face Hunter. I watched some of their matches because they played in the Celestial League, so yeah, those are the only VODs of them I could find. It's kind of hard to research since I don't read Chinese.
You know, actually, Jab is this guy who was playing Hearthstone from the very beginning, and I've seen him around, but a lot of players didn't, even viewers didn't know about him. He was winning the online cups, he was on Hearthlytics from the very beginning almost, but he qualified for BlizzCon for the NA Champs, first NA Champs, then for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And he's here right now, and he's a player to be feared, I believe.
I think a lot of people didn't really expect the deck that he brought either. Like, we saw the... well, I think Tempo Mage was the big surprise, because nobody else really considered the deck too much. And Jab, I mean, he got a good matchup, but didn't win it, despite the fact that his hand was absolutely crazy. But the choice, I think, was very good, which just goes to show that he makes pretty good decision-making overall. And we've seen him play Tempo Mage in the past frequently. It's a deck that he likes probably more than a lot of people do. I think Cypher as well is a big Tempo Mage aficionado in certain metagames. So it was just one of those players. I think right now he's looking to get the win just because he wants to make sure that it's really dangerous for him right now at 1-1 to go 1-2 and possibly end up at the bottom of the barrel in Group B. And StanCifka, even though it's 0-1, this loss could be devastating. So I think both players are just kind of on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. StanCifka needs to win that game. If he loses with 0-2, he has a great chance to get eliminated from the tournament. He is the previous champion. He won the first season, and he got here, even though he didn't qualify fully. He went through Amas because Amas couldn't come.
Right.
He did qualify through the last chance qualifier and was first to get invited. So StanCifka absolutely needs to win the match. We actually sat down with StanCifka and asked him a couple of questions.
About the Colento already, like I think he's like the most difficult opponent, but yeah, I really enjoy playing versus him. And about the other, I would say the second player I fear the most is Dog, because in the last half a year he improved insanely. Like when I was researching him like a year ago, he was only stick with a few decks, and like it was very easy to prepare against him, while in the last 6 months, let's say, he improved. He played a very big variety of the decks, and like he's also became very reactive. So he's trying to prepare for their opponent. So it's the player I fear the most, maybe even a little bit more than Colento. Then there's a Cypher, which I think he's a really good player, but from some reason I have some insane score against him. Like I have only wins versus him. I'm not sure if it's like 4-0 or something like this, but I don't know. Like I just feel confident whenever I play versus him. I know he's not bad, but somehow I win all the time. So I would like to, keep on the record. And in my group, there's the Jeb, which I've played him only once in the qualifier. And he's, very aggressive player. He's playing all the aggressive decks, and he played them really, really good. So it's always like, difficult to beat all the hunters, shaman, paladin, and druids. So, you need to have some strategy in order to prepare for him, which I tried, but, it's never easy versus him. Then there's Surrender. I've played him once at the Siege Story. I think I won the match, but it was also very, very, very close. And in the last month, he also, start playing more decks, so it's suddenly became much more difficult to prepare for him. So he's also very good player. And then there are the Chinese guys, which are a little bit unknown because the Chinese and the Western world is kind of different scenarios. It was really very difficult to even research the games, like what they are playing, what are their favorite decks. So I did the research, and every time we are playing these guys in China, we don't feel very comfortable. But when they are coming to Europe, they most of the time are kind of shaky. So they're definitely underdogs here, but yeah, they can surprise, and the quality of Chinese scene improved a lot in the last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if I see Chinese winner here.
If you did an interview with StanCifka, as it turns out, he does talk quite a bit. So I hope you like what you hear, at least.
Well, he's really cheerful overall as a person.
Definitely.
But also, he is a rare breed amongst the pro players because he has a deck builder. I mean, there is a lot of deck builders,
right?
But some players are just fine-tuners or pilots who just take the deck and they change it a bit and then pilot it. But StanCifka, not only he is a great pilot as a player, he's also a deck builder. Like we've seen Fel Cannon in his Reno lock.
Right, and I mean, I remember the last time I saw this card was Dark Wanix, back in the days of a demon type of control warlock, like mid-range demon lock with double Fel Cannon. It was a super control heavy lock, and it hasn't really been seen since. But the thing is, when you recognize in something like Reno lock that it's a cheap minion to play that does a lot of work on its own if it lives, and you can control when you play minions on the back of it. So sometimes you can just stop playing stuff, let your opponent deal with it, and against the huge meta game full of smaller minions, it does a lot of work on average.
Absolutely. Let's look at the bans quickly. So Jab got his Druid banned by Cifka, and we will not see the Priest again.
Yeah, looks
never
like
Priest.
never Priesty.
They both have Mage, and there is the Tempo Mage from Jab, Freeze Mage from StanCifka, Paladin.
Reno lock for StanCifka. Both have a Secret Paladin, I believe.
Yeah, and Patron for Jab.
Exactly. So the Secret Paladin should fall to the might of Patron at some point if they meet. But again, Tempo Mage from Jab is also a decent deck against exactly that.
Absolutely, right. Game 1 is ready. Jab versus StanCifka, Tempo Mage versus that Reno lock. Noxious, what can you tell me about this matchup?
This matchup is it's a bit difficult to navigate as Tempo Mage because it really comes down to the amount of healing that the opponent can put together, and it's also about you being able to make all your burst happen at once without letting your opponent draw a Reno. Like that's the really big issue, is it's almost out of your hands because Reno decks are very binary in that they either have it or they don't. And when you're playing a deck like Tempo Mage, when you're getting on the board, letting the Warlock clear the board, giving him opportunities to use those board clears, it's really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. But what other choice do you have? You just have to go with
Right,
the damage
exactly.
and hope there is no Reno on turn 6. Let's talk about the hands a bit.
Yeah.
So for StanCifka, there is Thorison, but it's in the far future.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great card to have. The thing is, right now, surrendering the coin to a play like this is really bad, but getting the Owl out, and that's what I was going to talk about, is getting the Owl out, make sure the Jab's deck is not thinned, and you're also able to play into Mirror Entity kind of fearlessly, right?
Yeah.
This could backfire if Jab's luck is just as good as it was earlier with Flamewakers. All right, there we go. Nicely done, Jab.
That's a pretty good percentage to hit that Owl. And he is taking an early lead with the board, but there is the Hellfire for StanCifka. You might not want to play Hellfire yet. Coin is useful, and you can just still go with something like Farseer.
I don't even mind a coin implosion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's guaranteed to kill something, and you still get the Hellfire on the back end. But again, playing the Farseer forces your opponent to play a spell. It means he doesn't play a Shredder, but that also means that because he doesn't play a Shredder, if you assume he's going to trade here, then your Hellfire gets delayed a little bit. But maybe that's a good thing, because you get to plan it out a bit further ahead.
Yeah, I think the Farseer is pretty good because you will be able to Thorison on 5,
Right.
which matters.
Thorisons matter.
They do. Power of Ragnaros.
Hashtag Thorisons matter. Let's start a new trend. StanCifka does end up losing the Farseer, and that's kind of what the Hellfire, it's good here, but it would have been better if Jab had been very greedy. But Jab knows better than this. You don't keep all your board and assume a Shadow Flame's never going to hit.
Yeah, it's an interesting play from the Tempo Mage because you want to keep the board presence and you want to keep board superiority, but you cannot just blindly rush into face.
Yeah, this is good, though. I mean, if he trades away the Scientist, I mean, he's kind of telegraphing what this is, right? You almost need to get the Shredder back. You could also Frostbolt the Drake, if you assume the 2/2 doesn't die.
The thing is, like, at this point, you have no idea what it is. This can be Counterspell, this can be Mirror Entity, this can be Duplicate, right? How do you test? So if you attack in the Mad Scientist, you will know, and you will be happy about it.
Yeah, StanCifka knows there is a Duplicate. He did get to scout the deck a little bit earlier when Jab played against other opponents, and StanCifka is probably thinking, if it is Mirror Entity, then I might as well not play anything. But if I kill the Shredder, wow, that's exactly what Jab was looking for.
Yeah, he went for the Implosion, and that's pretty good. All right, so now attacking into the Crocolisk.
All right, so double Shredder is definitely a good thing to get from Duplicate, I think. You'll be pretty happy overall.
And he's getting StanCifka a bit low. 19 is something you should be able to reach, and he has still burst in his hand, Fireball and Frostbolt.
The second Scientist here will get Mirror Entity. That's the only thing left, I think, in the deck. He only plays one of each, I imagine. You substitute perhaps an Arcane Intellect for a Duplicate, or treat it as a third one.
Do you remember how many secrets have we seen before?
We've seen only one Duplicate, one Entity.
Alright, so Thorison comes down. And the hand is pretty good, with Siphon Soul, some removal as well.
Yeah, you actually have the BGH already set up for the Dr. Boom from Jab that could come out. It's everywhere in Tempo Mage. It's nothing unusual. However, right now there's no Reno, and Jab is looking at 2 pieces of his burn. So if he picks up just a little bit more, he's got a huge incentive to just push.
Well, he can't really push this turn that much.
Alright, well, looks like the Emperor will go down, but not at no cost. Refreshment Vendor, pretty nice card. We're near the only one who's lost HP, but it'll have to wait because Dr. Boom takes precedence over this.
Yeah, Dr. Boom will help you to take care of the board, whatever is being played by Jab. Okay, so Double Shredder seems pretty good.
Yeah, Double Shredder really puts down a board that's hard to remove. Even if they have Hellfire or Shadow Flame, they still have to deal with like 2/2 drops. I don't know, I feel like the boom bots will decide what happens. Oh, wow.
Oh man, that was great for StanCifka.
Yeah, now you're looking at a potential Demon Wrath play. If you want to take it, it's not necessarily the worst, but it might just not be necessary.
7th phase makes a lot of sense as well. You want to start pressuring Jab because whatever he draws, it can support a strategy of just dealing damage.
Right, so maybe just playing more minions. Demon Wrath looks good just because he clears up everything and the boom bot can go face, and what comes out of this shouldn't matter much. Oh, well,
this actually blocks the refreshment vendor.
unbelievable!
He cannot play it anymore.
Unbelievable! And Jab doesn't care.
How much damage is there?
And he can't even play BGH because it kills his boom. Unbelievable!
That is troublesome.
Oh no!
That was probably the worst.
I mean, it had to be among the worst. Oh wow! Look at that!
Can he
turn.
win with this? He has enough mana to cast all the damage spells. So this is 12,
15, 17. If he hits perfectly, if all the missiles go face.
Do you go for it? Do you go for missiles first?
I mean, I might just go for Mirror Entity instead and perhaps Fireball Boom to keep the mana rate. Like, is that? Would you ever do something like this?
Well,
or
if
is
you can missiles first. If you hit face 3 times, you just
win. Go all in. Yeah, okay, let's try this.
I would go for it.
Yeah, let's try this. All right, Jab, I believe in you. You go ahead, boy.
So marking face first.
Redeeming the Flame Wakers from earlier. All right.
No missiles?
Yeah, looks like he doesn't want to go all in on this. He wants to keep the missiles for when he gets a Flame Waker. And by the way, that Flame Waker is going to do... What?
Oh,
no.
man. And now he hits face 3 times?
No. All right. At least we don't have to feel too bad about a potential miss lethal.
Well, with this, he sets up lethal for the next turn anyway, right? He'll have 10 mana, so exactly 13.
Yeah, he is setting up for a lethal unless... StanCifka picks up some healing, but StanCifka does have healing.
He does have healing.
A little bit of it.
But there's also Mirror Entity that can...
It negates a little bit of that, yeah, true.
Attacking into Mana Wraith.
Feels so bad, man.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He goes lower.
That is...
Alright, so we still have
He's going to be on 19. Damage. That's a 2-3 coming out, which is going to give StanCifka some health when he kills it.
So it's not enough yet to finish the game.
Yeah, I think the Zombie Chow really helps. He needs to pick up a double Fireball play, something along those lines. That's not it at all. And he's looking at 24 health on Stan because the Zombie Chow heals him up.
The victory is slipping away from Jab's fingers.
Yeah, I mean...
So much heal.
There's really not much you can do about it, so...
Alright, that was a good try, but he ran out of damage.
He might find an Archmage or a Flame Waker. It's not over yet. It looks over, and it probably is, but... You know, Jab. Get a good old Spell Slinger.
You absolutely have to continue fighting. Is Hellfire good here? Just to clear the board,
yeah.
Heal yourself, heal your opponent.
It's pretty good, yeah. You reset and you get the board control. You get to play Refreshment Vendor and Imp Gang Boss on this. The Mage has nothing.
That's really solid. Yeah. But that Mana Wraith.
Yeah, man. This could have been the game winner, but I'm surprised Jab didn't try to go for the Arcane Missiles first on the off chance that he just won straight up.
Oh, Flame Waker.
A little bit late to the party, mate, but...
Does it change much?
Not really. I mean, it helps because you can clear up the board.
But on the other hand, there is an Imp Gang Boss, so you can get unlucky with hits.
Like
well,
this.
That's one Imp. That's the second Imp.
And that's the third Imp. But at least if 2 Imps die, I guess only 1 is left.
Alright, so this time Flame Waker actually hits the minions.
Yeah, 1v1 GG no Re. The thing is, StanCifka is also playing a very interesting spin on Reno. He's playing Soulfire in his deck, not even from the Peddler.
Yeah, he did cut Stalag and Fugan, I believe.
Yeah, those cards are, although they're really interesting and they feel like a natural fit, which we've talked about in the past, they do suffer from being a gimmick in many cases. And they're usually, I feel like Fugan is a great tempo play, but Stalag is the one you never want to play.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And people have tools to deal with Thaddeus as well. It's not like, hey, you get Thaddeus to win. It's just Big M Hunter, Shadow Word Death.
Wow, this Archmage Antonidas.
Late to the party.
Yeah, again, another latecomer to this party.
It's like, hi guys, I heard all the spells already left, but I'm here. Fell Cannon!
Great card here, gonna do absolutely nothing. Well, it doesn't have to do anything, really.
Do you Siphon Soul?
Actually, you could Siphon Soul and then trade away the Imps so that Fell Cannon never kills your Shredder, and then you have like an entire mech board.
Yeah, I think it's really solid. Is there any single card that Jab can actually get? Unstable Portal into
Dr.
something?
Boom might be semi-useful.
Astro Drake is alright. Fireball, you probably just keep it.
I mean, does he have any fuel left in his deck to salvage the game?
Well, unstable portals are something that can be helpful. As you mentioned, Dr. Boom, and he's nowhere near dying yet.
Right. Well, what could the portals? What do they have to bring out?
Deathwing.
Like, what is a crazy legendary that would win almost on its own? Aside from Deathwing.
Paletress.
Paletress could be sick. Yeah.
There are options.
Actually, Paletress would be just one of those absolute nuts cards.
Yeah, something great from Paletress as well.
It's like a double-tiered RNG, but...
It's like a portal into Paletress, you ping
and you get a Sarah or another Paletress, and then somehow you get like, yeah, it just keeps snowballing. And
so it's not over till it's over.
Hey, alright, you can live tap the enemy's face now.
Sludge Belcher is decent.
I thought this was the turn where you were playing Sylphire on your own phase. Just to get the giant, the giant and the Belcher out.
It's fine.
No, it's you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
And you have lethal next turn.
All right. Well, Jab is going to fall down here.
Yeah, he was fighting, but Stun has the easy lethal with Soulfires and.
Yeah, I think the turn that really nailed it was the Zombie Chow coming into the Mirror Entity. That health gain was way too much. And
obviously, Arcane Missiles maybe could have win the game.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah, 3 hits to face. So that was a pretty interesting game, and now StanCifka has lead over Job. And as we mentioned, it's really important for StanCifka to win.
Yeah.
Because if he loses, he will be last in the group and possibly eliminated.
I mean, if he goes 0-2 as a start, he still has another match against his last opponent, Chinese player. The thing is, he's really... I think if it comes down to a tiebreaker, he might win it if they're both 1-2. Because I think he's got the...
Well, he will play versus him in the last
round. Yeah, exactly, last round. So it will matter. Like the tiebreaker might decide who goes through and who doesn't.
That's right.
All right, Tempo Mage versus Freeze Mage. Yeah, this is a fairly Freeze Mage favored matchup. So Cifka going into this blindly is probably hugely favored. Oh, wow. Not a horrible start for Jab. Picks up the Mana Worm and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's a decent start.
And from StanCifka, what you want to have is draw, Mad Scientist,
Acolyte.
Doomsayer is okay.
Actually, this Shredder, if Duplicate ends up triggering on the Shredder, this is quite... Oh!
Oh, wow. He's playing the Reno Jackson version.
Reno Freeze?
This changes this matchup
even more, I want to say. Like, this game is almost even... The thing is, this Freeze Mage type of list usually has to run duplicates, right? They will have to run 2 Ice Blocks, 2 Ice Barriers, and hope the Mad Scientists make it so Reno doesn't get blocked by not having enough.
So what are the doubles? I think Frostbolt is the double, and he already had one, so it's good for him.
Might be. I don't even know if he runs those. Sheeps sometimes come in.
You might run 1 sheep. Ice Barrier is probably a double. Ice Block.
Yeah, Ice Block definitely. I would be surprised there wasn't an Ice Block.
So he needs to get rid of all the doubles for Reno Jackson to work.
Yeah, Stan doesn't want to play like the Doomslayer here. If it is Mirror Entity, he's thinking to himself, well, that would be a great, play. But the thing is, there's only a Mana Worm to kill here, which is not worth it.
And he can still use it next turn, or in 2 turns.
Yeah. The thing is now, if StanCifka thinks this is Entity and goes for the Doomslayer, and it's not, then he loses the Doomslayer and nothing comes of it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be super hasty. He has the Frost Nova as well.
Oh, there we go. Sheep is right here.
I'm really curious, what is this build exactly? How many doubles does he have? Maybe Reno Jackson, is the card you play when you really drew almost everything.
Yeah. It looks like Jab's going to go for the Scientist and the Dark Iron Dwarf. He's pushing for quite a lot of damage here, honestly.
Yeah, but we know there is Doomsayer Nova, but then again, he has
dies to Flame Cannon, Arcane Blast, and a ping.
Yep.
StanCifka will hope that... I mean, he's fine still, because he can go Doomsayer Nova, then Flame Strike.
Yeah. So he's still in good shape.
Yeah, this is not attacking.
Is there any reason not to play Doomsayer Nova this turn?
You might go Sheep. If you think it's Mirror Entity, then it still works out super well.
So Sheep first and then see what happens?
Yeah, I'm not against it. Or you're forcing the Entity out, then you play Doomsayer.
Oh, man.
He's doing it! Oh, goodness. Yeah, he's forcing the Doomsayer to come out. Knowing there's no chance, there's no Manatee here, he just gets the full clear.
No, that's so great.
And he triggers a duplicate on the Mad Scientist, and he triggers the Manatee on the Doomsayer. Something great needs to come out here. This is not the greatest of greats, but it's a 3-2.
That was such a sick read, because it could have been Mirror Entity to begin with.
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if it were, because if it wasn't, then you might be getting duplicate out, which is probably okay, because you're giving him a Mana Worm, right? Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So maybe the misplay, maybe it was a misplay from Jab to make that call. I don't know. With hindsight, it's easy to say.
Well, for now, StanCifka gets a huge advantage. Even though he had an advantage to begin with the matchup, he can clear this board.
Yeah.
And the secret is there a secret even at the moment?
There's none right now, no.
No secrets.
The two scientists in hand haven't drawn anything. What's interesting, too, is that in order for Jab to take this, he's going to have to pick up something absolutely insane from the unstable. Like, he's got one unstable portal left.
And there is a duplicate right now.
I don't even think there's two. I'm not sure if there's two duplicates or two entities. I think it's one of each.
So there might. So no secrets. All right, no secrets for now.
Require my assistance? No, probably not worth it. But it's just fun. It's just funny to think that he could pull it off, and
he actually can get a fireball from the coin.
Yeah, might as well just play Reno tempo. Tempo Reno.
Not even healing. It's just whatever. It's a 4/6. I'm good with it.
You just kind of like ping the scientist and then ping the scientist and then live.
You probably keep the Antonidas.
Yeah, there's no reason to play anything here. I think you just ping and pass.
That's fine as well.
Yeah.
You're not even overdrawing. But you can take your time. You can think about your turn. Freeze Mage is not easy to play.
I think the idea is I want to get Archmage out with a coin Nova on 9. That's usually what people end up doing when they have the opportunity to. So at least you get 2 fireballs and then you're good to go.
You also have to think about what can happen next turn. So what's the worst? Dr. Boom is the worst?
I think Archmage plus Arcane Missile would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
That would be the closest thing to a bad turn as you've got because you have no immediate answer to it. Like, you can't actually kill the Archmage.
Well,
you can freeze it, but...
You also have to think about your hand overall. How many cards do you have? Because if you get something like Arcane Intellect, then you want to cast it. That's Dr. Boom, though.
Yeah. That's an ice block, which means the Reno is more and more likely to activate soon.
Maybe it's active already.
Yeah, I think it might be. We've seen 1 ice barrier, 1 ice block, we've seen 1 Nova. Did we see a scientist yet? Because there might not be
We've
2.
seen Frostbolts. We haven't seen any scientists from StanCifka.
Yeah, you might be playing only the 1. A lot of people do that when they play the Reno type of freeze.
Okay, Blizzard can deal with the Boom nicely, just freezing it at the moment. StanCifka is not concerned that much about his health total. And Jab has a lot of anti-minion spells that seem to be pretty bad versus Freeze Mage.
Yeah, they're pretty dead against a deck that plays no minions at all. It's not going to do very much. So Fire Blast is going to be Jab's source of damage for the near future.
That might be it. Reno might be active right now.
I mean, I suspect you would only play 1 scientist, right? I don't know. Would you have to play 2 in a deck like this?
If you play 4 secrets, you probably want to play scientists, and you mulligan for scientists really heavily.
Yeah. I mean, you do draw half your deck, at least, as a Freeze Mage on average. So.
What about fireballs? You play 1 fireball, 1 torch?
I mean, it's kind of like, it feels like a hybridized, like, Echo Mage. You know Giants Mage and the way they play? Sometimes they go a little bit all over the place. And I think this type of Freeze Mage can afford to... Oh, goodness!
Suddenly, the spells can do something.
Mysterious Challenger appears. The thing is, you can't actually use 2 spells. You can only use the 1. But this is good, because StanCifka can deal with this.
Yeah, he has nothing.
Aha!
So Jab can actually turn those useless cards into
You have to ping your own guy. Yeah, he does!
And that's
brilliant!
StanCifka still cannot do anything about it.
If he couldn't, then he still can't. And now Flame Strike is gone as well. Nova Doomsayer does not begin to answer this. This might have to be the Archmage Nova. No, there's no way.
But you still have Reno.
Yes.
So you're fine with fireballs hitting your face.
I don't know if you are.
Why not? You're still good with this.
Because there might be too many of them.
But there's
okay, you have 2 ice blocks.
Okay,
yeah,
exactly. You're fine. You're good. Come on, Nox.
Never mind. The thing is, Doomsayer doesn't work here. So you absolutely have to get your own fireballs through the Archmage, which means you're going to go for a boring play like Archmage Nova with a coin and just play fireballs. That flame strike does look like it would be pretty good here.
And now Jab needs to deal with the Antonidas as well.
Doesn't care. He just fireball ping, fireball face.
Yeah. And get the fireballs back.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe there's an argument of playing Flame Cannon instead because you get an extra fireball out of it. Because the ping doesn't give you the extra fireball and the Flame Cannon does. So that is probably the better play. Yeah, he does. Go for this. Yeah, I have to assume turning this thing into 6 damage to face is worth quite a bit.
And he also puts stun at 13, so he can potentially double fireball ping to get the Ice Block out. That's some really good math.
I hope for StanCifka that he is running, like he's found his doubles.
StanCifka should ping his own face, I think.
Yeah, I think this would be the play. It's happened before in the past. I just don't know if StanCifka's played enough of this matchup.
Ostkaka did it. Like if you ping your face, you're safe. Your Ice Block is safe.
Yeah, I know. It is also one of those things you have to do when you consider the possible burn.
This is so like
next level.
Counterintuitive at next level.
Like ping my face and I win, and I keep a block, or like I don't go down to 0.
Well, at this point you mostly know your opponent's hand. It's a lot of fireballs.
Yeah, there's I don't know exactly what Stan's holding, but it probably contains a few fireballs.
Even if you lose an Ice Block here, you do have Reno, and I believe Reno is active at this point. So your opponent just lost 2 fireballs.
Well, I mean, he needs 5 more to even go through your health total, number 2. What could Stan possibly have doubles of that he hasn't drawn? He's found the Acolyte, he's played the Scientist. Maybe he plays 2 Ice Lances.
Maybe 2 Ice Lances, that's the moment.
Frostbolts as well. We haven't seen a Frostbolt yet.
We've seen one in the very beginning.
Okay, then I must have missed it.
In the opening hand.
What did he use it on?
All right, so Reno Jackson, we're going to be rich.
We're going to be rich. And Jab's going to be sad.
Oh, that's one sad job.
You know, the flashback this gets me is the Seed Story Cup JJ play. Like the first time we ever saw Reno was when JJ dropped it.
When you do it, it feels so good, and when you're your opponent and your opponent plays it, it feels so bad.
That's still pretty dangerous though, because if StanCifka hits, I mean he has to have Alex Straws on that deck. I mean I hope so.
I'm sure he does.
And then how do you win against the Tempo Mage and finish him off? Because again, that's the other issue I think you might run into is you've drawn so much.
Well, still have Torch, I believe. Which is some damage.
9 damage
9
total.
damage.
But you do have to find Alex. Yeah, the Iceland top deck was actually enabling the Reno. If it wasn't for that, he couldn't pull it off.
Well, he still had an Ice Block, but then you're losing your Ice Block. So that Iceland was crucial.
And the Belcher also is one of those things that you see a lot in Echo Mage, but it also lends itself to a Freeze Mage type of playstyle quite well. Would you play Echo in a Reno deck? I mean, it's got to be okay-ish, because you use it on Reno.
Maybe not in a Freeze Mage type of deck. This is basically Freeze Mage with Echo. Like a different build, right?
Yeah.
Than JJ's.
I wonder if you could pull off just an Echo in this deck.
But what would you Echo?
Reno.
Reno? It's like you just wait till turn 10.
And you do it, yeah, I guess.
I think it's random, especially because you have so many
even
doubles.
Sheeps. I mean, Sheeps, Doomsayers.
There's not that many. It's better to build an Echo deck instead.
I'm sad.
Sorry, Noxious.
It's okay.
You know who's sad?
I hate you too.
Jab is sad.
Jab is sad? Yeah, Jab's pretty sad right now. But one good news is he's got the Fireball to kill the Doomslayer, and he can Arcane Missile these minions off the board, which forces StanCifka to pick up the other Blizzard or Flame Strike. And because they're doubles, it's a Reno deck, there's a chance he doesn't have them as 2-ofs.
Yeah, and he used the Blizzard and he used the Flame Strike.
Absolutely.
Exactly. What are clears does he have? So he might not have more clears.
But he may have an Naxxraza off the top, which wins, but no more clears is what I'm expecting here.
So he has to have another Frostbolt.
Oh, well,
Thorson is really good. You can even Novice first.
Yeah, Novice, Thorson, and find Alex. Then you just OTK. Unless Lothab, but that's it.
How much damage is... this is 20. 23 with Frostbolt. 24 with the ping. Yeah, that's pretty close. I would love Novice, Ping Face, Thorson.
Yeah, I mean, you've already seen 2 fireballs from Jab and more from Antonidas. So When Arcade Missiles came out, I guess the Flame Wakers are big liabilities for you as StanCifka. You really don't know if you can hope to survive a massive turn with the Flame Wakers. And they haven't really done anything yet, so...
Yeah. So basically, if he gets a Frostbolt, oh, that's huge.
Well, I don't know if you can afford playing much besides Thorson in this spot.
Yeah. So basically, Alex draws the next turn, and after
And
that,
then you Ice Block
just
for
win.
2. If you're in danger, you just go Alex Ice Block, and then you win.
Well, he will have enough to win anyway, after Alexstrasza. Because double Fireball is 12, and double Iceless is 4, so it's 16.
Lotheb would really put a dent in that turn.
It will, but he still has an Ice Block.
You know what they said about Unstable Portal and Mal'Ganis?
It's pretty good, especially if your opponent tries to kill you.
Yeah,
Or
that's
a
exactly, that's
second
exactly what
Lotheb.
they said. How did you know?
Second Lotheb from Portal.
Yeah. With Master of Disguise, obviously.
Oh man, that Mana Worm. It is huge, but
It's like an Ancient Shade without a drawback.
But it doesn't really matter. Or does it? Oh wait.
Well, it does kill Hexstrasza. It had a good life. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, so he has an Ice Block and Alexstrasza, but if he goes to 1, Ice Block
Ice
will
Block
not matter.
yeah, exactly. If Jab manages to put StanCifka down to 1 health, the fatigue will kill him.
And he has a Fireball and that's 7 free Mana Worm, so it does matter in the end.
It does exactly.
How do you not lose
You
this?
ping yourself.
You have to...
No, you have to go for
can-
Alex. You have to
Can
go
you Ice Lance? No, you can't. You have no Frostbolt.
I mean, you might go Alex into Ice Lance on the Mana Worm, and then play Ice Block. That way you have double Fireball to face.
What about Alex and Ice Lance on 2 minions?
On 2
and
minions
hope
to freeze
he
them.
can't
yeah.
kill Alex.
I think that's actually a lot safer than playing Ice Block. Or I mean, you play Ice Block and you don't use the Ice Lances on face. Instead, you use them to freeze minions. But that's your
Oh, you
last
can
turn.
actually Ice Lance and play Mad Scientist. You do not Ice Block. You basically Ice Lance the, I guess, Shredder. You Ice Lance the 7 free. You play Mad Scientist, and then you're not dead, whatever happens.
Man, this Ice Block.
And Mad Scientist is not dead, even if
Uh-oh.
Alexstrasza gets killed.
What are we looking at here? 11.
I think this is enough,
Wait,
right?
11 plus
8,
7.
14.
Ping. He's on a one. He doesn't fall
15
the block.
plus 8.
Yeah, he's
23.
actually overkill, but
He just needs to do it strategically.
yeah, and he can, I think,
I
right?
think
Because the ping allows him to put him exactly at 1.
StanCifka was, I think he was greedy. Yeah, he was greedy.
That's GG.
That's it. That's GG.
That's
because
game.
It's like, oh, Fatigue is going to kill me.
Oh, no, the fatigue win. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be it. The
That
game goes to Jab as unlikely.
That
As
escalated
it
pretty
looked.
quickly. Whoops!
Yeah. Down goes Jaina.
StanCifka already wondering, hey, if I just play Mad Scientist, maybe that's enough. Because that was enough. If you play Mad Scientist and you have Alexstrasza,
And
you
you
use the
freeze.
Ice Lances,
Yeah.
you have this 1/4/4, so Jab cannot pop, like you don't have Ice Block even. You have like 21 health. So Jab will not be able to do 21 damage with the 4 attack minion, the Fireball, because he used some Fireballs before.
Yeah, but
So-
if you fireballs your Alex with a ping, right? The Drake still gets the spell damage, so you lose the Alex.
And you lose
And then you have
Mad
the
Scientist.
exactly.
And then you cannot win the game. All right.
Right.
All right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I fully understand the play that StanCifka made, but I think it all boiled down to that weird turn where he didn't ping his own face, but instead played the Acolyte and drew one too many cards with it.
Oh man,
That
that game was so intense. There were
that
so
was-
many things.
Right.
So many things. We'll have to ask him about the not pinging face.
Well, I
at
mean,
some
it's
point.
something you don't even spot. It's not even, have you thought about it? It's, did you even...
Maybe he did. Maybe he
consider
really
it.
wanted to bait up fireballs for the better Reno play. We will see.
Well, subtleties happen in matchups like these. For now, we've got the probably least subtle matchup in the world, which is I play secrets and you do too. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be subtle, but we always know what's on the board.
Yeah, a new Undertaker. The Secret Keeper is back. And what do you do? Shield Mini Bot. Is there a room for double sacrifice here at all?
There is room if you attack the other Secret Keeper, because then theirs dies to the Noble Sack, but if a Coin Muster comes out, then you're really poor. You have nothing left.
So Shielded Mini Bot is probably okay. And even if the secrets are being played next turn, your Secret Keeper will survive. So it dies to Master, as you mentioned.
Yeah, the thing that's like what's interesting here is that StanCifka is holding Lotheb and Jab has the coin. Very often in a matchup like this, you're happy to go Coin Challenger on 5, but because Lotheb falls down, he won't be able to. However, the Belcher still will let him curve. Origin Protector. in Jab's hand. We've talked about this a bit earlier,
Yeah, and he's not playing Reno Secret Paladin.
sadly.
It's just a tech choice, and it worked last match. It really worked.
It actually won. It single-handedly defeated the early game advantage, or the stalemate, that this deck would have had against other Secret Pallies.
Oh wow,
That's
Hammer.
a stalemate breaker.
That's one of the best best cards to get if you want to maintain tempo. Just buff your minion. You have a weapon with 2 attack is a lot, so you can kill the Secret Keeper easily. And then maybe even go face. Like, you don't have to concern yourself much about this Haunted Creeper yet. Unless
I mean,
you want
it's really scary if you damage it for 1, because you let it pop on the, like, say, a Night
yeah,
Juggler.
with Juggler.
And there's a chance that he goes Secret plus Juggler, in which case Creeper becomes, because it dies onto the Secret Keeper. But then he's opening himself up to Consecration, so it would feel a little awkward.
So looking at Jab's options, turn 3 he still has a coin. He has Belcher, Challenger, Doctor Doom. But he is losing the board at this very moment.
I mean, I might go for... there's like, you can't play Secrets because Secret Keeper is annoying. You probably just have to wait until you can coin something out, or...
Yeah, like coin Belcher next turn.
Oh, wow.
Shredder is amazing.
Great card here for StanCifka. Gets to curve earlier than Jab does. But the thing is, once we hit turn 5, I think Jab's getting the upper hand as far as curving.
Is there a merit to killing the spiders? I think you can safely...
Killing the spider is good against Juggler, right? Because you prevent the pop from happening.
Yeah, but if you kill the dude, you can't really kill the spider.
Oh, nicely top deck, Jab. Don't even have to coin out anything.
Well, he will be able to coin up the Challenger next turn.
That's theoretical. But yes, technically that's what he kept the coin for, right? But the Belcher will probably have to be his play if StanCifka opts to go for the Lotheb. Although I guess there's an argument to be made for not playing Lotheb and instead going for Minibot. But since you've not seen the coin yet, and you know what could come out,
yeah, you
have to Lotheb.
You do exactly Lotheb because of that. Well, not only because of that, it's a 5/5 body.
It is a 5/5, exactly. It's curving out pretty well. Can't complain.
So no Challenger for Jab yet, but Slash Belcher is, even though it dies to Lotheb easily, it will put Lotheb on 2 health.
Yeah, which means Consecration suddenly works, or a Lucky Juggles as well. Now I have a question for you. If you're Jab, do you even Challenger next turn, or do you just coin Dr. Boom with then Challenger after Dr. Boom's kind of caused a bit of havoc on the board? So I feel like the Challenger won't do too much.
I agree with you. I think Dr. Boom might be better. Dr. Boom is one of the best tools to come back in a game where you're behind. Especially because that Lotheb will be on 2 health. So
right.
StanCifka will have to use Lotheb to kill Dr. Boom. Unless he risks death from the bombs. But Cifka is a good position still. Oh, not
It's
thinking about
Consecration. No, he did think about it, but I think ultimately he knows he's keeping the 2/2.
It is unlikely though. Most Secret Paladins play only 1, and maybe he even hasn't seen one from Jab. That's not Consecration, even though it's for 4.
Dr. Boom will come out to try to win the board back, but he's going to have a lot of trouble because the 5/2 is going to be very willingly sacrificing itself into the 7/7 alongside the Crocolisk, I'm assuming.
I would not hate just going for face. There is so much damage at this very moment. There's 11 plus 3, 14, 16 damage, I believe.
If there's a consec, you would have seen it, right? That's
Yeah.
the reasoning. So, yeah, that's a good point.
But you might also just want to kill Boom with your Lotheb. You're going to lose your Lotheb easily if something happens.
I mean, it dies anyway to the double Boombot attacks. So maybe getting rid of it, as you said, just because it's going to be useless. But it's your biggest source of damage on this board.
Yeah, it is. But then, like, if you go for face, you risk losing it, and Paladin doesn't normally have that much burst.
So now the question is, do I trade away my Lotheb? And he does.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to take the 7. Feels bad, man. We see Muster come out, and maybe some juggles land where they have to. Nope, not this time.
StanCifka is still in a very good position. He's in a position to win with Tyrion on turn 8.
Ouch.
Some good secrets, Master for Battle. Feels good.
Surely this Boombot is dead, right? Maybe not.
You never know.
It lives. Oh, it's not gonna get down, but it lives.
So is Mystery's Challenger the best, or do you try some shenanigans?
I don't think shenanigans are something you can hope for. I mean, I guess going for the boom bot here, the challenge. I mean, the noble sack doesn't spawn, so it might have worked, but Jab doesn't believe at all.
That was a tough run for Jab. So StanCifka has a lead 2-1 versus Jab, and now he just needs to win with his last deck, which is the Reno lock, I believe. Because his priest got banned.
He has one with the Reno lock earlier against the Tempo Mage.
He
won with Tempo Mage. He just won with Secret Paladin. I think he's got a Druid left.
Wait, he just lost with the Freeze Mage, so he needs to play it again.
Right, Freeze Mage is the last deck he's got. Oh, you're right. That's correct. Exactly. So he's going back to the Freeze Mage. He won with the Reno lock earlier against the Tempo. So Freeze Mage, I think, against Secret Paladin will have a pretty good time. Even Patron, I mean, that's a really rough matchup if you're Jab.
Patron versus Freeze Mage?
Yeah, you got to get on the board, and what StanCifka loves above all is for you to give him a reason to use that AoE.
Yeah, but the fact is that if you keep Armor Smiths, and when you have a very big armor turn, you might over-armor yourself, so the Freeze Mage cannot kill you.
And worse, I guess, is the fact that it's a Reno Mage. So the amount of 2-drops that exist aren't, like, there's not that many of them, and there's only one Doomsayer, which means Explosive Sheep is not necessarily going to save
Lane
you.
Strike, one Blizzard.
Yeah, it's one Cone of Cold as well.
I think how you have to play this game from Jab's perspective is like you are a control warrior.
You fatigue all the time. You go to the max, you get one big armor turn.
And you're wary of Antonidas. Like, you can make tempo plays, obviously, and try to pressure Mage a bit to maybe have a chance to burst them down. But overall, in the back of your head, you have to think about fatiguing.
It feels like that's how they used to win before the nerf. I don't think that's changed at all. Every single warrior should be playing like a control warrior when they're up against Freeze Mage. They have such a limited amount of burn. It's really hard not to win with that approach.
So yeah, very important part is to keep your Armor Smiths and just unleash double Armor Smith in the moment where you have a full board with 7 minions and Whirlwind maybe twice to gain lots of health.
Ideally, you want to get Whirlwind twice. Does he play Emperor in that version of Patron? I don't assume so.
I don't think you do. You mostly cut Emperor because it's not a combo deck anymore. It's a tempo-based deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Whirlwind's there. I think that's the beginning.
Yeah, you can use the first Whirlwind, for example, to activate a bigger Battle Rage to have access to more cards.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few turns to get to that point, but it will have to be used for that. Because you look here, there's a possibility of just an Armor Smith Patron plus Whirlwind Battle Rage if he picks up Inner Rage, and the Death Bite as well coming out gives it even more likelihood of happening.
And on StanCifka side of things, he wants to obviously draw the cards, get Jab lower, hit a big Alexstrasza, and then hope he has enough to finish the game. So he wants to avoid those Armor Smiths. If Jab goes for a big Armor Smith turn, StanCifka will have to have Antonidas. And with Antonidas, get the Fireballs.
Right, and get enough of them as well.
Yeah.
So you have to get a really good Emperor in the first place. One thing that StanCifka has that I like here is the Blood Mage Thanos Blizzard. So he may only be running, one Blizzard, one Flame Strike, but the Blood Mage Blizzard really deals with the most patrons right off the bat, which is great.
So I would say that StanCifka is at a disadvantage, but this can go either way in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it is a notoriously bad matchup. Like, the moment it's Warrior and your Mage, and they're playing it defensively.
Yeah, and it seems like Jab knows what to do.
Yeah, he's not overextending at all, not wasting cards and precious resources.
It's interesting how every armor point is an enemy of StanCifka's enemy, and then Jab wants to have as much armor as possible.
I mean, it's interesting, and on the other hand, you also have StanCifka with double Ice Block, which makes Patron blowouts really unlikely. So Jab's long-term win rate is going to be tied to the fatigue. Can I draw as little as possible? We've seen some Patron warriors kind of kill themselves because they overdrew in this matchup.
Same with mages.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like one, which is why you don't see the Acolyte ping or StanCifka being overly zealous with the Acolyte.
So Cifka might be forced to just throw some cards away.
Yeah, absolutely.
His hand is almost full at the moment.
My hand is too full.
Not yet.
This is not necessarily
Close.
what he's looking for. I mean, I guess you could just preemptively Alex, since he's got armor, but that opens up a battle rage that draws him more cards, which now that I think about it, might be a good thing later on. That, in the hand, would have been better against Doomslayer.
Yeah. But Doomslayer doesn't matter that much.
Not really, no, because you can play the whole Patron turn. The thing is, without an inner rage, you're not getting any good Patron value. Oh man, Slam is coming down.
Well, you want to draw some cards, even though you don't want to overdraw, and you don't want to draw too much, as you mentioned, because of this is the fatigue game.
Yeah.
You still want to have those armor smiths.
Well, baiting a Flame Strike here, Jab, is knowing that this is a Reno log, there's only so many answers to this frauding. Well, this is one of them. But there's not that many in the deck.
A really
from
clean
StanCifka.
one, actually. So this matchup requires a lot of patience on both sides. Especially, I think especially from Patron perspective, because Freeze Mage normally is patient. Like, going into a match, into a game with Freeze Mage, you're like, yep, I'm going to take a lot of time.
I'm here for a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a patron, you're like, yeah, I need to kill my opponent. Everybody, get
I
in
will
here.
crush you! And it's like, no, you won't. Just wait.
Yes, everybody, can you please wait?
Please calm down. Yeah, you can get in here one at a time. I think his Jab also has the opportunity here to go for a crazy card draw turn, as we've talked, the Battle Rage thing. He can go for Patron, Inner Rage, Whirlwind with the Armor Smith on the board, get a massive armor count, force StanCifka to react with a Flame Strike, giving him even more armor. I suspect this may just be fine, even though it doesn't damage StanCifka that much. It is forcing him into a weird turn. You don't even have to Battle Rage if you don't want to.
I think it's all about conserving resources, having an answer to Antonidas.
Maybe double Armor Smith is just the way to go.
Yeah, it is. It is
It's like the only
absolutely.
way you win, really.
Double Armor Smith, dealing with Antonidas when it drops. That's what you have to do. And not fatiguing yourself. Because if you start hitting fatigue before Mage, like 3 or 4 turns before Mage, it will be enough damage to deal with your armor.
Yeah, and that's like the BGH with Dr. Boom, these two together, that's as good that's as much tempo as you're ever gonna get as a Patron warrior without using your patrons. And this is gonna force StanCifka to react pretty heavily with very limited AoE. It's gonna be a bit tricky.
Well, he has Frost Novas to stall.
No, he does, but
You can always Iceland's Boom as well after Nova.
I think you need those for our Antonidas. If you're ever gonna win, if you have a shred of a chance to win, it's gonna come down to
Iceland's being traded, coin being traded into.
yeah, for fireballs, basically. I wouldn't be against something like Frost Nova, Arcane Intellect, Loot Hoarder, but
Then you might possibly overdraw if Loot Hoarder dies.
sure.
And you don't want to burn Antonidas.
You don't want to burn. Yeah, you actually don't want to burn Antonidas. You want to use him to burn someone. Oh man, it's a bit rough.
Okay, this is really tough.
You might just Nova and Loot Hoarder and that's it, but you're still gonna end up at 10 cards with your next card draw.
Yeah, the problem with Loot Hoarder is that it's really easy to kill it, right?
And
So how
that's
many
fine,
cards?
right? You don't really care.
Yeah, you will have 10 after this.
Yeah.
8 cards for Stanislav.
He's exactly where he wants to be.
Pinging face to just get that armor down.
Oh, first patient's coming out because the second one showed up, and I think it's gonna come out with a Lotheb. Because Blizzard gets locked out, Nova's forced, the second one, that is.
Flame Strike gets locked down.
Yeah. If he wants to go for that, it's definitely possible. He's gonna go for the... Is he gonna dump some of his hand in this with the Whirlwind? Goodness gracious, okay.
Well, he
That's-
was almost full on cards. And he is getting a lot of armor. He had a lot of armor already. I wonder what's the threshold. Oh, there is Antonidas. Is there a threshold of armor where the mage cannot win anymore?
Well, right now would be it. I mean, that's the problem, I think, and that has more to do, I think, with the fact that this is a Reno deck where you don't start with double Fireball, you don't have Pyroblast, so the threshold is even lower than it otherwise would be. And look at this, like if he wants to remove this board, he has to go with something like Blood Mage Blizzard, which is horrible. It gives more armor to your opponent.
Getting some more
and
cards.
a lot more, in fact. The thing is, the amount of card draw that Jab just gave himself That's not negligible at all.
There is Thorison and Antonidas, so it looks alright. But I like the fact that Jab is keeping the inner rage in his hand as an activator for execute.
Yeah, Grom, execute, name it. You have something to...
Oh man, even more armor.
Yeah, I think this Thorson is going to hit all the good cards, though, because we're starting to get at the bottom of the deck for StanCifka. Not quite there, but this Dalnos will draw another card.
Okay, so for StanCifka, you do Antonidas, you do Frost Nova, Coin, Icelands, get Fireballs. Antonidas dies because there are ways to kill him with Slam and Execute, Inner Rage, Execute.
You expect it to die, yeah, absolutely.
You expect it to die, and you get how many Fireballs? 4 new Fireballs.
Yeah, you get 3 new Fireballs from this, right?
3 Fireballs.
Yeah.
And then you can play Thorison. But it's just 5 Fireballs in your deck.
Which is just the armor count that the Warrior has right now.
So already it might be too late. You will have to count Fatigue in as well. The Warrior fatiguing himself to take damage.
You have to hope that he does.
Oh, with
point.
Thorison being played first, you actually will get more Fireballs.
Yeah, you will. Absolutely. If you throw the Archmage first, you'll get it to die. Whereas right now you can get the Ice Lances for free.
Oh, Vitality Totem!
That is bad news!
Stan will have to do something with it.
Oh my god, unbelievable. It's worse than an Armor Smith! Like, you intentionally put Alex in your deck to deal with stuff like this.
And it gets resisted.
Maybe you have to go for Archmage now. I mean, this is the perfect Frostbolt target, even though it's awful.
Well, you have to deal with it.
Somehow.
You cannot let Vitality Totem to heal Jab to full.
You can't let that little guy live. Wow.
You Doomsayer the Vitality Totem!
This feels that feels about right. It's pretty sad. Look at that. Chipping away at the health one at a time. Here's a card that I'll never see play.
What do you think? Yeah, those Acolytes.
Dude, these are like, I'm an Acolyte of Pain. Yeah, it's painful, but you're never going to get played.
That's why I wanted to review Jab's hand at the moment. So he has Lothlet. Lothlet is good. He has Gromage to deal some more damage. This turn, he probably just has to armor up and pass.
I mean, I think one Acolyte might be fine, but it's a bit risky. You just want to get them dead. Like,
maybe you
guys
just
have
play
to die.
both of them.
I'd throw both, yeah.
Just to free your hand.
Like, get rid of these little drawing minions.
Like, there's probably not a moment in this game where you would like to draw cards. But yeah, probably just throwing one away is
I don't know. I feel like 2 of them would have been acceptable as well. I guess it depends. Because the thing is, sometimes you'll be able to play the Acolyte alongside an Armor Smith at the very end of the game. So that can be worth a lot. But look at this.
That's a lot
Double
of fireballs.
Ice Lance. He gets not only a lot of fireballs, but a lot of damage up front, which is worth a ton in a spot like this. This is unbelievably useful for StanCifka.
And 3 mana, he can decide what to do.
Oh,
he's throwing away Nova.
Yeah. You got a Flame Strike left, so that'll deal with the Patrons. But having 30 damage and fireballs right now and forcing removal from your opponent is a pretty sweet turn.
Well, removal is not a problem. He even picked up a second Execute. He was waiting for his Antonidas. You know what I would like to see?
Go.
I'd like to see Reno beat down. Like Reno being the
4-6, just like he's the last minion alive. You're gonna be rich. Wait, there's no gold here? Just a big orc?
Reno might actually decide his game.
Like, it is a big minion, Spectral Knight level.
And when you go to Fatigue, like Reno will get you back to 30, so you'll still have a bit more time.
Yeah. I think right now what StanCifka's worried about is Armor Smith number 2 coming out. So he will have to try to handle his ghoul the best he can. Oh, okay. It's a bit awkward. You have to get rid of the armor one bit at a time. I mean, you know those are all going to the face anyway, so
yeah,
might as well
you don't have
commit to
time
it.
at this moment. How many fireballs StanCifka has in his deck? We've seen one.
Yeah.
One more Frostbolt? Or have he used both?
We've seen one go to face. Yeah, I think they've both been. There's one of them that was played. I don't think he plays 2.
Does he even play 2?
I saw 2 Ice Lances.
I think I've seen one Frostbolt last game.
Yeah, with 2 Ice Lances.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's no Forgotten Torch as well, which is something...
We haven't seen a Torch, and we've seen all the cards.
Exactly, which is weird, because very often in a deck like this, you're used to seeing Torches. And there's even been Freeze Mages running 1 Duplicate. I don't know if you remember seeing that a little while ago, but
Yeah, at some point they were running duplicate as well. Okay, so will StanCifka have enough damage? There's still one more Armor Smith for Jab somewhere in the deck.
That Vitality Totem, man, it was brutal.
8
Yeah, 8 health out of a
heal for it,
Shredder.
yeah.
It's like Battle Cry, I mean Death Rattle, summon a heal bot, then kill it.
Vitality Totem is like Thug Life.
Yeah.
Straight out of Shredder.
Oh, he looks so badass too if you look at him. Like the art is just a really angry totem staring you down.
Okay, Jab, what do you do? What
Oh,
can
wow.
you do?
If he executes this, then I mean Reno has a free ticket to, well, to not die immediately at least.
He still has the weapon.
Yeah, but it's, you know, possibly 8 to 12 damage. He has
Every
to hit
point of
twice.
damage matters at this point, right? Like you don't want to take the damage from Reno.
You're right. Warrior lives matter. Well, I guess StanCifka's fatiguing before his opponent. That's not good news. But he has seen the patron spam. I can wait no longer.
StanCifka is really focused. There's so much math going on in here. Who will fatigue first?
Well,
So-
Reno is really the big factor here because it gives StanCifka a second wave of healing. But the thing is, he has to be very cautious because if Jab does exactly what he did last time, he can put him at 1 health and let fatigue take care of it.
Yeah, but even 1 health might not matter. Like if fatigue goes to 3 or 4, that will also break the ice block.
True.
Oh man, Armor Smith
Yeah.
and Lothab.
This might be the turn where, oh wow, more armor if you
How-
wanted. The thing is, you don't want to commit more to this board in case disasters happen. I mean, you know the hand, you know the deck by now. You've seen all the cards last game.
Yeah, but still, will there be a good way to deal with Reno?
That's kind of what we brought up earlier, right? Like if the fireballs are used as removal, say on Grom, then all of a sudden StanCifka, all he's got to do is live the thug life and punch him in the face with a really rich dude.
Akko out of pain beat down? Nah.
I mean, if Jab kept it for that, then he was going to get in for a surprise with that ping hero power from StanCifka. He's like, sure, you want to beat me down with that card engine? Sure, let's do that. Fatigue time.
Maybe he was counting on Finley.
Oh, man.
Sir Finley, take the heal, and as
This would be
God.
absolutely insane. And this is why Echo would be fun with Reno. It's like, Reno, Echo, all right, try it.
StanCifka is really running out of damage.
Lothab is going to lock down the turn from Stan, which means Jab will get a good Grom next turn.
Yeah.
And the Explosive Sheep will double dip in the armor gain. But it will kill the Armor Smith in the process.
It's really tough. How much damage is there incoming? That's
There's only 14 from Grom.
19
well,
actually with Lothab, right? But Lothab is dead. Okay.
no, she's dead. Yeah, well, he's dead.
Well, she's.
Dude, Reno wins. Reno just straight up wins the game. Well, not quite yet.
That's really. I mean, it will not die,
Yeah, it's not dying
but
just
fatigue
now.
damage is really annoying, and the Jab can just wait.
Jab can wait it out, but this little mad scientist is kind of pesky. So what happens is, what Jab's going to try to do is put StanCifka exactly where he dies from fatigue. So right now, StanCifka being at 18 means that Grom and Deathbite, because they only deal 14, will leave him with 1 HP.
It's not default yet,
Yeah, exactly.
so Jab will have to wait one more turn, and Jab is still pretty comfy on 43.
It's kind of awkward. I think the fire, like,
You do
maybe
throw fireballs, like it.
you can throw at least one of them, because one of them is going to have to go to Grom. 100%.
Oh man,
Or
this
two of
game
them even.
came to the wire.
Yeah, and the thing is, this little 2/2 arm mad scientist is a big deal.
Yeah, it
It
is
really is a
dealing
big deal.
damage over time, so it might actually deal around 6 to 8 damage.
So right now, StanCifka
Is it the
would
moment?
die to fatigue.
Yeah, so he has to play Reno
Or ping himself.
or ping himself.
I think pinging yourself at this point is the genius play.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Or is it though? Because you're still dead to fatigue.
Yeah, I guess
If you ping yourself, Gromash hits your face for 10, so you die to fatigue anyway. You take 4 damage.
well, no, because it doesn't hit you for 10 unless the Deathbite hits you first.
Oh, you're right. No, but you can hit Mad Scientist with the Death Bite.
True fact. All right, you still die. Correct. So don't ping your face, StanCifka. The genius play was actually a completely inane play with no reason to be made
Pink
whatsoever.
face was
Yeah.
lethal.
Reno Jackson is actually.
You have to play Reno Jackson because you're dead if you don't.
Oh no!
Is he thinking about pinging his face? Because
Maybe he's going to fireball himself. And then he dies to the death bite hit. All right,
so
he actually realized what you realized, which I would have probably just killed myself in this spot. Sap the casters. Well, the caster.
You're doing a good job, Noxious.
Oh,
okay,
man.
but still, Reno Jackson.
It's a 4-6, man.
You still just wait.
I mean, it wins. Like, there's no way that Jab can kill Reno unless he uses Grom for it.
Yeah,
which means StanCifka's just going to punch him to death.
But he's still not dead. With double fireball, how much damage is their next turn?
12, 16, 17,
right,
18.
So there's 5 with fatigue. So there's 17,
One off lethal
19,
with the ping, he wins.
23, 24.
With the ping, he wins.
Yeah, with the ping, he has lethal on board for next turn with double fireball. If Jab counted fireballs correctly, there's even if he armors up, he's just dead. So what is the winning play here? Is there one?
Grom, attack the scientist, punch face for 10, and then lose the game.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, I was going to say you could kill the 4-6, but you still die. Actually, wait. He's dying.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's dying, yeah. 24.
GG.
Oh, man.
Reno Jackson.
Reno Jackson actually punching face. Who would have known? Oh, wait. He missed the 5 damage? He miscounted.
That was a mistake.
Oh, wait. And now how much damage is there with Grom?
I think that's it now, because he actually gets 14 in.
StanCifka
Does he take 7?
6?
What? No. Please don't take 7 from this, Stan.
That's not 7, right?
Please no.
That will be 6.
I hope it's not. I truly, dearly hope it's not. Let it not be 7, or I will cry. I think it's 6, because he was 1 turn ahead. Yeah, it is 6.
I think it's 6.
All right.
Oh, man.
I had
that was close. That BM? Was that BM?
Extended BM. There is no misplay. It's just extended BM.
Oh, my God.
StanCifka does take the win over Jab, which actually puts Jab
on 1-2 score.
Yeah, 1-2, and StanCifka goes up to 1-1.
To 1-1.
What a sick series.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You have to count fatigue, but he knew there is Grom and something. Like
he knew he was going to live. He just didn't think he was going to kill.
That's right. We have to ask him about pinging face, by the way, on that game before. When he was playing versus Mage.
I don't know. He would have still died since we talked about the scenario with the fireball to face, and then the Drake is able to actually deal 7 to boom.
But what a deck! And you take on the Reno Freeze Mage, and you build very interesting build, a very successful build.
Right. I mean, I like seeing Reno Mage because we saw it just a little, like a blip of Reno Freeze Mage when the card came out.
Yeah,
and then it just disappeared, and nobody really believes in it. But StanCifka says, I don't care if you believe or not. I'm just going to bring it to a tournament and win. And this fits his playstyle really well, which I love.
It's actually incredible that he lost in the final to JJ 0-5 versus Reno deck. It's like, I just have to make this deck good. I just have to bring it to the tournament and win with it.
Yeah, it's like redemption, I guess. Yeah. So StanCifka walking out like a boss.
Incredible match.
Absolutely. Expertly executed, honestly, from his part. And Jab, you know, he was hoping you could just sit back and relax, but that is not the case. He's going to have to see what happens next game.
That is tough. You're taking a mental blow if you think about it. And also, if Jab is 1-2, StanCifka, if he wins versus his opponent, he will be 1-2 as well. So he will have a better position over Jab in the group.
He will be slightly over him, which means it'll come down to Jab versus Lan Hanje, I think. I don't know how to pronounce the name exactly. I'm not exactly Chinese, as you might imagine.
You're doing a good job.
I'll let Frodan do it next time, but
yeah.
Basically, it'll come down to Jab versus the Chinese player, which I can't pronounce the name.
Lan Shengze?
Lan Shengze.
He's a great player, and he's playing aggressively. Everybody here loves him because he is defeating Secret Paladins.
He is a good Shaman player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he gets himself in those weird spots where he just has to roll dice every time for some reason. Like, have you noticed how many times he's had
YOLO Miracle.
Yeah, he's
a YOLO Miracle.
True.
That's how you play.
He's just like making a prayer to the Hearthstone RNG gods and hoping it works. That being said, guys, we will take a short break and we'll be back with the last match of the day. Then we'll have a full tally of Group B's positioning and to see who actually goes through. We know for sure at the moment, I think that Surrender goes through. But there's no guarantee for the three other players. Nothing is sure yet. So there's still a possible 3-way tie coming up. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.